Your mind warned you from the beginning, but your soul still reached for them anyway. And that's the part you don't talk about. How knowing better doesn't always mean doing better when your heart is starving for something it never had. I remember feeling it in my body before I could name it with words. That quiet tension, that uneasy calm, that strange pull mixed with fear, like standing at the edge of something beautiful and dangerous at the same time. My mind kept whispering, "This will hurt you," but my soul kept saying, "Maybe this time will be different." And that's the battle you don't see from the outside. The war between instinct and hunger, between logic and longing, between the part of you that wants to survive and the part of you that wants to feel alive. Your soul craves what your body never received in the first place. We don't crave people, we crave feelings, safety, warmth, recognition, being seen, being held without asking, being understood without explaining. And sometimes one person becomes the symbol of everything we've ever wanted, even if they are incapable of giving it. You don't fall for someone just because they are charming or beautiful. You fall because they awaken something in you that you forgot existed or never had at all. They touch a place inside you that's been quiet for too long, and suddenly your world feels louder, brighter, more alive, even if it's unstable. And that's dangerous, because intensity can feel like intimacy, and chaos can feel like passion, and longing can feel like love. Your mind tries to protect you. It sees patterns your heart refuses to acknowledge. It notices inconsistency, distance, emotional unavailability. But your soul is drunk on possibility, on the version of them you created in your head, on the way they almost love you, not enough to stay, but just enough to keep you hoping. And hope is powerful. Hope will convince you to ignore red flags and call them butterflies. It will make absence feel mysterious. It will turn emotional neglect into depth. It will reinterpret silence as strength. Hope will trick you into romanticizing what is actually hurting you. You weren't crazy for wanting them. You were wounded. And wounds cry out for healing in familiar languages. When you grow up not feeling fully chosen, not fully seen, not fully safe, your nervous system learns to chase what feels familiar, not what feels healthy. And sometimes the familiar feels like distance, like unpredictability, like needing to earn love. And so your soul reaches toward the person who activates your old wounds, because somewhere deep inside it believes, maybe this time I'll finally fix it. Maybe this time I'll finally be enough. That's the painful truth. We don't chase people. We chase redemption. We chase the child inside us who never felt worthy. We chase the moment when love finally sticks. We chase the ending we never got. Your soul wasn't reaching for them. It was reaching for healing. It just chose the wrong place. And your mind knew. It warned you, but wounds don't listen to logic. They listen to emotion. They listen to urgency. They listen to pain. Your mind looks at behavior. Your soul looks at potential. And potential will ruin you if you love it too much. Because potential is not reality. And hope is not a relationship. And fantasy cannot hold you when the world gets heavy. And yet, you stay. Because the pain feels better than emptiness. Because longing feels better than numb. Because being almost loved feels better than not being loved at all. Or so you think. Until you start losing yourself. Until your laughter sounds quieter. Until your confidence begins to fade. Until you start checking your phone more than you check your own feelings. Until your worth begins to depend on someone else's attention. That's when love becomes hunger. And hunger is not romance. It's survival. You don't crave them. You crave being chosen. You crave the moment they finally see you. You crave the version of you that you become when you're with them. The hopeful version, the softer version, the dreaming version. And the hardest part is realizing you don't miss them. You miss who you were before they started disappearing. You miss the innocence. You miss the belief. You miss the future you built alone in your head. And grief for an imagined future hurts more than losing a real one, because imagined futures don't give closure, they just vanish, like smoke, leaving you standing in the middle of a dream that nobody else remembers, and you feel foolish for hurting over something that was never real. But it was real to you. It lived in your chest. It kept you awake. It warmed you on bad nights. And now it's gone. So of course you ache. Your soul is in withdrawal from a dream it loved too deeply. And your mind keeps asking, why can't you let this go? The answer is simple and cruel, because you didn't just give them love. You gave them hope. And letting go of hope feels like dying. Your body doesn't understand that the future you imagined was never guaranteed. Your heart only understands loss, and loss feels final, and final feels unbearable. So you replay, you romanticize, you minimize, you reread old messages, you search for meaning where there is only absence, because if you can make it make sense, maybe it won't hurt as much. But sometimes the real reason we hurt is because we want something we never truly had. And you didn't lose them. Not really. You lost the feeling they represented. You lost the story you wrote. You lost the home you tried to build in a person who was never stable enough to stand. That's not love. That's longing. And longing is loud. Love is quiet. Love does not make you anxious. It doesn't keep you guessing. It doesn't disappear when you start needing it. Real love doesn't activate your wounds. It heals them. It does not feel like a roller coaster. It feels like ground. But ground doesn't excite a starving heart. It feels unfamiliar, and unfamiliar feels boring when your nervous system is addicted to chaos. So you chase fire instead of warmth. You chase spark instead of safety. You chase what hurts because you don't trust what's calm. And deep down, you think, if it doesn't hurt, it must not be real. But that's not love speaking. That's trauma. And trauma is a liar. It tells you pain is proof. It tells you distance is desire. It tells you struggle is connection. And none of it is true. Your soul doesn't crave them. Your soul craves peace. It craves consistency. It craves softness. It craves a love that doesn't disappear. And one day you will meet someone who doesn't trigger your wounds. They will touch you gently, consistently, quietly. And at first you'll feel suspicious because your body is so used to storms that calm feels wrong. But calm is not wrong. Calm is where you finally breathe. And when that happens, you'll understand something that changes you. You were never addicted to them. You were addicted to the feeling of hoping, to the rush, to the intensity, to the almost, and you will forgive yourself for staying, for believing, for loving someone who couldn't love you back the way you deserved. You will forgive yourself for confusing pain with depth, chaos with chemistry, fire with warmth, and you will begin choosing peace over passion, safety over spark, consistency over excitement, and it won't feel magical at first. It will feel strange, like learning how to live in a quiet room after years of noise. But then you will sleep better, breathe deeper, laugh louder, and something inside you will finally stop begging. Your heart will no longer chase people who abandon you emotionally, because you will no longer abandon yourself, and the person your soul once craved will slowly fade into what they always were. A lesson, not a destination, a bridge, not a home, a chapter, not the whole story, and you will finally see. Your mind always tried to save you. Your soul was just looking for love in a place that couldn't hold it. If you and I are anything alike, and you want to keep walking this path with me, then subscribe.